For a single mother just like myself, it is very difficult dating and introducing somebody new to your children. Love me, love my dog, right? But how practical is this saying? It seems like there is this difficulty dating single mothers. Well, today on Love Unlocked Unscripted, I'm talking to a few single mothers, and we are going to find out why it seems like it's such a difficult task dating us. My name is Akosa Konedo Owusu. This is Love Unlocked Unscripted. Well, welcome back to Love Unlocked Unscripted. Today I'm doing this discussion with Doris. Doris, welcome back.
Thank you.
And then next to Doris, I have Nanekia. Nanekia, welcome back. Thank you for coming, ladies. So today we are looking at single mothers and why it is so difficult to date us. Look, recently I heard a guy say that he was very interested in a certain lady, but the only reason why he's not pursuing the relationship is because she has a child. And I used to think that, in this day and age, I thought that this stigmatization was no longer a thing, but apparently it is. Why do you think people still have this weird ideas when it comes to single mothers?
Okay, so here's a thing for me. If I met you or you met me and I have some likes for you, we started talking and it's like going somewhere, I'd want to tell you all about my daughter. Not really meeting her, but then I'll point it out to you that yes, I have this girl, which is my everything.
Right.
So we start the conversation from there. You either liked her or you let go of everything. So I sometimes tell friends that what you sell is what they'll buy.
Yeah.
If you meet a guy and you think you fall in love so much that what you have, you are not ready to put it on the table, then the stigmatization comes in.
Do you share the same?
Well, relationship in general it's normal. Okay, we have a man and woman. Let's just say normally, man and woman, excuse me, coming together to make babies, or not for the sole reason or purpose of making babies, but that alone is a whole ball game on its own. And here's the case that there is going to be another person who is going to be part of the relationship.
Right.
And it's not from both of them. That in itself alone makes the whole thing, okay, what is this?
Right.
So usually I think that single mothers, like she said, sorry, it's all about my child. I have a 40-year-old daughter. So I think sometimes we should, I wouldn't say dissociate from our children or from our realities, but making it all about my child. If you are here, okay, you are interested in me, I'm interested in you. Okay, I have a daughter, I have a son. It's either you love her, sorry, it's either you love her or not. Yeah. If you are able to love her, then we move. If not, go your way, go my way. That is what is restricting or preventing a lot of single women from getting into a relationship.
Right.
We don't have to, force the love
for our children
on the men.
Right.
It should come naturally. So I would rather you look at how you meet a man, you introduce your child to the man. Okay, I have a daughter, I have a son. So as the relationship is going, you as a woman, you stay back. You look at the actions of the man. Even when the man has not met your child, does he ask of him or her?
Right.
When he calls, is she in school? How is she doing in school? And when you mention something concerning your child, how does the man follow up?
Okay.
Then you gather these clues and you realize that, oh, this man is interested
In
in my child. So I will take it from, that's what I think, like taking it from this perspective, you kind of like introduce gradually. And when they meet physically, you also find cues, like how is the relationship? Does the child like the man? Does the man like the child? Are they able to bond? And then you gradually move from that angle.
But you know, when we fall in love, we tend to kind of push a lot of things in the background. I remember I have a girl I taught in class too. She's now a nurse, and I remember her stepfather was watching her. Anytime she finishes bathing, that is the time that this man will go to the room to look for something. When she complained to her mother, it became World War II. The mother didn't instantly believe the daughter. She came to tell us, me and a couple of friends. We had to now set this guy up for the mother to see. And it happens quite a lot with us when we fall in love. We tend to kind of believe the man more than our child. And I wonder why that is.
Before you even decide that I'm going into a relationship with a man, there are so many things you'd have seen that you think are worthy of a person to be able to be in your life and subsequently your child. You mentioned something, one of it, why is it difficult for single mothers to find love or something? I think number one is, let me touch on this thing, it's finances.
Okay.
There is this notion that single mother, when you're going for her, you are taking care of her and her child. Yes, in a way, because if you're coming to me as a man, I might be all made up, but you are going to have a responsibility of taking care of me and my child. And especially if the child's father is not so much present in the child's life. If the man loves your child so much or enough, it's not going to be a constraint for him to, like, the finance aspect is not going to be a constraint. And also, touching on how we react to maybe sexual predators or something. I think one thing I have with my daughter, I talk to her a lot, like a lot. So sometimes when you call her, she'll be like, okay, here we go again, because meeting,
That's right.
you know, say, if you're meeting, my cousin came around some few days ago. She was like, she spoke to her, your daughter is so intelligent, more than her age. And sometimes the things she knows, it's not from me. So you try to educate them, the cues.
Right.
Value your body, because you can do everything you want, you everything right. If something will go wrong, it will go wrong. And you can't be a watchdog. You can't be there all the time.
But here is the case where when they tell us, because we are in love, we tend to believe the men more than our children. Yeah. And it is not like it is just a one-off story. It keeps happening.
That's the mistake most of us do sometimes, because we found a new love and are afraid of losing the man. But personally, I have this perception about it. If the guy or the man that I have the child with is no longer with me, how much more someone who is not the father of my daughter? Seriously, sometimes I talk and people think I'm insane. No. I'm not saying I love my daughter more than any other person, quote unquote. Yeah. But then there should be some level at play. Right. If I've been able to move away from that child's father and doing whatever I have to do till meeting you, please, there is no way I'm thinking, yes, I'm not saying I'm always on the negative side. Right. Positives happen, but the same way both positive and negatives are at play.
Right.
So the possibility of you leaving me again is there, but then my daughter will forever remain my daughter.
Exactly.
So for me, basically, I listen more to my daughter than any other person.
Yeah.
If you enter my house, they'll tell you Doris there. Whatever her child says is no, not necessarily whatever, but I try to listen
Listen to
more,
her more.
pick whatever she's saying, take clues, observe henceforth. If she made a complaint, henceforth I want to observe more, take clues myself to believe or to ascertain the fact. Because you see, this modern age, our children are learning more or knowing more than we do in our absence because of the electrical gadgets around. So what you think your child doesn't know, she knows more than you already. So if she's able to open up a bit of something and you are still brushing that, then you are working in vain. Seriously, you are working in vain. So for me, as she rightly put it, every blessed day we have our meeting twice, morning and evening, and we have our jargons. Like we have signs. If somebody is around, it means we won't talk, we're doing signs. She understands. So I made it so flexible for her to approach me as well. She's my friend, not only my daughter.
Not to cut you off, talking about your daughter is your friend. I was making this mistake earlier on because I gave birth very young. So that fear of my daughter making that same mistake was there. So it was more like I was so protective of her. But with time, I'm like, you know what? Let me ease up. So it was when I eased up, then she told me, Mommy, I think I have a crush on this person. Hey, let's sit down. Mommy, this person says, hey. So it's the friendship. That is when you actually get your child to talk to you. But even that, it is sometimes very difficult. No matter the bond, no matter the closeness, because society has put a tag on it, the shame. So if she's been abused or if she's getting signs or something, she wouldn't even be able to open up to talk about it. So in this case, you also be watching your man. Like she said, you probably some conversations, or usually you won't hear me asking you the question. I'll listen to your conversations with other people, and then I'll be taking my cues from them. Okay, so he doesn't see anything wrong with men playing with children, or I mean, it's okay, but in some ways. So that you know, okay, am I safe or not? It's quite a very difficult situation to be in.
That brings me to my next point about acceptance. I realized that most women are afraid of whether the man will accept their child or not. And especially when it is not one, it is two, sometimes it is three. You wonder how important is this acceptance?
One funny thing is when it's coming from the guy's side, the man, maybe the man is having more than one or two or three kids, it's acceptable to society somehow. But if it's coming from the woman, then they are raising an eyebrow. Hey, how come? Oh, this, oh, that. They have their funny comments, their funny judgments, forgetting that no woman goes anywhere else to get that pregnancy except with a man. But then, so you just have to stand out, you just have to stand for it. Yes, you can't die in a relationship or a marriage. No, it's not working. And I'm back alive. Is that not enough?
It is.
Yes. So mostly is how you understand and how you stand for yourself that helps. If you really want to listen to the society, the judgments, the whatever, the hearsay, you will always not be happy. Seriously. Because if it's from the man's side, everybody's okay. A man can bring home as many children as he wants, but it's from the woman's side, then the question mark or the red flag is raised. No, it's time we liberate ourselves as women. That is a man
and a woman that comes together.
Exactly. To bring forth a child. So whether I have 10, 20, 50, is still with a man,
Right.
and one particular man is not working, that doesn't mean I should limit myself. No, happy yourself.
Do we actually make it difficult for them? Because, like you said, when they are coming, you have two children, or you have a teenage daughter. She probably is about to go to SS. They will contribute financially. But when it comes to, say, correcting them, then we become like we are up in arms. How is it cool for them to contribute financially, but they are not allowed to correct them, or
when you are a single mother and you live alone with your child, it's just you and her. I correct my daughter. If you come and we are fighting, you'll be shocked. And that is because I love her so much. I don't want her to go the wrong way.
Right.
So, you see, women make mistakes. Single mothers, let me say, we make mistakes because we say this child is my everything. The world does not revolve around just our kids.
Okay.
And that is where we make mistakes.
Okay.
So, it actually makes it very difficult because the man is coming. The man needs attention too. The man also needs to be, babied. Here is especially if you are, let's say, dating somebody and your child is like 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5 years. If you're going out, the child is a problem because you need somebody to babysit.
Yeah.
And so therefore, that can actually become a hindrance. You can't go out. So if a man is coming in, she has a 2-year-old son, it's going to be a problem because we can't even go out. We can't hang around because this child is so clingy to you, the mother. So you can't even be free to be able to have a little fun.
Okay.
And we get used to that.
Okay.
And so we make the children everything. Back to the topic of punishment or correction. If you have accepted the man as your spouse, if we are dating well, I wouldn't expect you to correct, but it starts from dating anyway.
Okay.
How the man handles your child is the same thing it will be when it gets into marriage.
But yeah, for me, when it comes to correcting a child, my parents were teachers, both parents, but they've never beaten us before.
Okay.
They have a way of punishing us.
Okay.
Whatever you do, or the degree of your offense determines your punishment in my home. Okay, if they ask you not to take this and you went for it in their absence and they come back, when they are sharing this, because you take this, you won't get this.
Right.
They will let you know the reason why they are not getting.
Right.
So I grew up and I picked that. So the same thing I'm doing with my daughter. I've never beaten my daughter before.
Right.
But then I can just give her an eye contact and she understand what I want her to do.
Right.
So if you come in as a man, I sit you down and I explain to you that, yes, this is my daughter. It's yours. I'm giving it to you. Train her the same way you train your children, without skin. This is what I do in my home.
You go that extent.
Yes,
right.
This is what I do in my home. I'm not giving you boundaries or limits, but then I've trained her up to this extent.
Right.
And she's tuned to it.
To that.
So I don't know how Ken will come in and change something else, right? Okay, so if she does something and I'm yelling on, or not necessarily yelling, but then I'm giving her the punishment, you as the man, you understand already. So I'm expecting you to compound that, or maybe you also do something, maybe the next time I also not give you this because of.
Right.
And I make sure she respects you equally.
Right.
In my absence, in my presence, the same way I punish her, whether I'm there or not, do that.
Not to cut you off, but this is what I was talking about with the I don't know if it's right, like segregation.
Yeah.
We are a unit.
Exactly.
Okay. The man is coming from a different background.
Exactly.
I'm coming from a different background. I've trained my child
This
this kind of.
Yeah.
The man is also probably used to a particular way of
so
training a
it's
child. So in that
duty.
way, it's not our duty. We have to come to a compromise.
Yes, we will compromise,
Do you
but then
understand?
it's our duty to let the man know what has been going on before he comes in.
Yes.
If he brings in new ideas, or this is how I go about mine, and you think there is some compromises we can do, fine. But don't let the man just walk in without knowing anything on how you are bringing, because upbringing of a child, if you are two, like a husband and a wife, or a man and a woman in the house, is different from being a woman alone.
Right.
I quite remember there was a time I went out with my daughter and met somebody. The person was like, "Hey, so when was the last time daddy took you out?" And my daughter was like, "Ah, what is this saying?" Because it has been between us, you understand. So it was there that I just have to let her know, yes, there are times, or a time will come, daddy will send you out alone. I wouldn't be there, you see. So the moment you met somebody and you think you are in love, or you've opened your doors for that person to enter, I think that it should start from the communication. What you've done so far with your single life, with your daughter.
So let's wrap up. Now, us, as we are still saying here, all of us are single mothers. And mostly when we find love, we forget to look at red flags. We close our eyes to all the negatives. Today, let us tell other single women, what are some of the red flags that they should not ignore?
One thing you would be able to see is the man talks fondly of, is it in Ketwade? there is this in Ketwade,
yeah,
or the juice is in the. There are some comments, like you can see that the man actually likes younger children or younger women. And me, for example, my child is all that.
Yes.
So you'll be looking at the way. See, it's kind of a very insecure space to be as a single mother. You have to be looking. You have to be watching. If your daughter is going, is the man look like it's crazy?
Right.
And then some comments. So you just have to be alert. You just have to be alert, and then you also see if the relationship between your child and then the man is not strictly father and daughter, because you may or you might misconstrue some relationship to be a love bond between father and daughter. Meanwhile, it is not. So there should be limitations. There are going to be boundaries. You won't expect to find your fiancé or husband in bed with your daughter, and
or
then
in the same shower.
We are just cuddling. or she needed a rest. She had a nightmare, and then if you have a nightmare, come to mommy. Okay, so
why did to daddy, not on bed?
I mean, no, some kids are like that. Yeah. That is especially when you started dating when your child was 2 years or 3 years, and thankfully the relationship goes to the next level, and then your child is now 18 years. The love will be there from beginning.
Right.
But if it's a teenager, you don't know this man from anywhere.
Yeah.
So he just came in, and all of a sudden, and then you see that there is favorites, like the man. Sometimes they do that to get the approval or affection of the children. But when you see that it's too extreme, you should know that the man is trying to buy your daughter into something.
Right.
Maybe this is being insecure.
Like when they go and they buy the panties.
Those things, you shouldn't even have to buy her panties.
Yeah.
It is my responsibility. This part I will segregate you. It is my responsibility. You can give me the money to buy it, but you don't go buying it for her. And also there are some petty gifts. You can see this one there.
So you single mothers, what should we do?
We are buying
people gifts.
And
we won't buy gifts.
That is why it is difficult to date single mothers. That is why the stigma is there, because there is a whole lot. So any man who is willing to date a single mother should be very open-minded and should be ready to accept all these flaws and insecurities, because our insecurities are
Just
up there.
Above the sky.
It is no fault of ours.
Yeah.
But you have done this by yourself, and the way the world is, you really can't trust anybody.
Sure.
I trust you to be my man, but I don't know when your mind is going to change and switch. So I have to be on my guard.
That's true.
Especially looking at the children now, I have almost 12 years who looks like me.
Oh yes, your daughter is
I'm
just
telling you, when you enter my home, you might think, who is the mother?
Yeah.
So based on the physical looks and how she behaves, I think we should talk to the kids more to know the limits that they can go with the man, because sometimes you can't trust a man. Seriously speaking, they forget themselves and go overboard. So you create this environment that when there's something extreme, she should be able to inform you. When she sees some red flags that if I let her on, maybe in your absence, he touches her, some funny places, maybe the breast, the bum, your bum is nice.
Yeah.
You know, those funny comments. There should be a relationship with your daughter to be able to tell you when you are home. Exactly. And we should also open up to the men that no matter what, this is for us. Like the kids are for us. If they do well, you are now in our life, right? So see her as your own, or see him as your own. I'm sure only few men would want to sleep with their own daughter, but they do that with a step. I don't know for whatever reason, but I think if they see them as their own, they wouldn't
do that.
Exactly. Right. And it should be a fair play. In as much as you are protecting your daughter or your child, you should give some sort of time to the man also. You should allow the man also to come in, not necessarily overprotecting the child against the man, for the man to feel like he's not even needed in this role. Right. No, you are needed, but then we should work hand in hand, because before you come in, this was it. So as you have arrived, let's work like compromise on issues. I'm not seeing you as a stranger, but then it will take time to blend together. So basically, and as a single mother, you should feel free and go out. It doesn't mean the mere fact that you have a child or something, or this thing didn't work out, that no, that's not the end of you.
Okay, well, we are wrapping up, so I want to ask my last question and then we'll wrap up. Do single mothers tend to settle for love?
Not necessarily that. We rather try to scrutinize a lot because we've been through a lot already. Or personally, let me put it that way, because I've been through a lot already, being a single mother. If somebody or someone is approaching, I take my time a lot. Not necessarily overdoing it or to the extreme, but to be sure of certain things before giving in. Yes, there is no assurance as such, but at the end of the day, I'll be fulfilled knowing I've done my part, just that it didn't work out. Yes, so to settle for love.
I think at a point, single mothers do settle for love, in the sense that psychologically, emotionally, physically, we have needs. Apart from taking care of our kids on our own, even financially. So here's this gentleman, you see him all that, he's everything you want, but there is something, that's something, you know what, I think I can deal with this, and then you settle for it, because, and that is a natural phenomenon. It's with everybody. It's not even, it shouldn't even limit it to single mothers. Everybody at a point settle.
Right.
But it's just that it's with mothers and people who have been alone for long. So we overlook certain things, we sweep some things under the carpet, just so that you have that image of having a man in your life and then having a complete family, because society has made it, it's the norm. You should, but now we are drifting away from that
Yeah.
normal. Now single mothers, we
Are
know
all
what
over.
we know what
You know what's up.
you know what you want, you know what you need, and
Yeah.
you usually don't settle. Gradually,
Yeah,
I'm
coming
sure
out
things
of
will
it.
get better, and then the men will be more accepting of whatever situation the women are in.
Well, as they said, balance. I don't know, but we'll see. I hope you have enjoyed our conversation. Don't forget, I did this with Doris and Anekia. Thank you, ladies, for coming. My name is Akosa Konedu. I was your host today on Level Up Unscripted. We'll see you soon.
This program was proudly supported by Vena Mineral Water, Mini Cakes by Ann Menzo, Just Wine 233, I Meet Phones, Electronic Store, and Meg Fashionable, Access Looks, AK's Beauty Bar, and Type 1 Imagery.